Hi, Lovnish. Thanks for sending in these essays, and I appreciate your response to my email. Yes, I agree with you to an extent. The template can feel a bit mechanical to start with. That's probably because it's a organisation that you're not really used to for the essay, and I know it is difficult to get your ideas into that template. However, the reason why we do it is because it absolutely addresses the issue of coherence and getting these essays to an academic level and getting these essays organised well. So 25% of the marks is the coherence, and that is something that I think you are finding difficulties with, as maybe I mentioned in my last recording. So here we go, let's go with this. Today, technology is a great blessing for mankind. Now, in an academic essay, we wouldn't use this kind of language, great blessing for mankind. This has to be academic, that's the whole point of this exam. It's a very particular style of writing. But you could start that. It is argued by many, you'd have to put by experts, or by many experts today, that technology has benefited mankind rather than it's a blessing, and has made people more active on a social level, unlike in the past. So you just need to change that around a bit. I completely agree with this statement. And okay, as I've been witnessing technological advancements since my childhood, this essay discusses, I'd say probably will discuss the various benefits. You need to tell me of what of this new trend, and use examples. I use examples to explain maybe this development. Remember, you need to make sure we're not forgetting this point of the question, this development. Okay, fine. Technology has provided ample, let's go new and innovative, so we're adding in some language here, communication tools which aid people to stay in touch with their loved ones around the clock. I wouldn't use around the clock. I know you've probably been taught it and it's a nice expression, but it's not suitable for an academic essay. Loved ones around the world, whatever their time zone. They are facilitated to call anyone around the world with just a few clicks of a mouse. Now, is they the technology or they the people? I'm not sure who you're referring back to now. Maybe let's go with technology. Okay, so let's go. These sophisticated devices or applications, maybe applications would be better, allow one to call anywhere around the world with just a few clicks of a mouse. Yeah, again, this is the kind of expression you probably learned, which is fine, but I don't really like it in an academic essay. Let's keep let's keep that, because that does sound, you're right, you are on track there. We're talking about these devices, so let's go here. These sophisticated applications allow one to call anywhere around the world with just a few clicks of a mouse. For instance, yes, good to mention, that's good, are internet-based applications. In that case, I'll take out applications and I'll use tools. Yeah, I don't want us to repeat each other, so repetition of vocabulary, we want to vary the vocabulary as much as possible, don't we? Which diminish the communication barrier between people. Let's connect this back to the question in a minute. They can send people, allowing them, so connect these together to, you need to make the sentences a bit longer, to send messages or make calls whenever they need to. Therefore, people are more social. Therefore, since these inventions, people have become. So you want present perfect. Now, I wouldn't use social because that is the examiner's word. Have become more interconnected. And so that because of the new gadgets, which is a bit informal, I've put since these inventions, people have become more interconnected and user-friendly. Interference. Interference is usually negative and accustomed to the user-friendly. Maybe interface. I think interface might be the word you're looking for, of communication software. Okay, good. Nice paragraph there. So, in terms of the organisation, yes, you've got a good opening sentence, which you then develop. Then you're coming into your example, okay? And then you're concluding your example. So that's fine. Well done. Furthermore, since people need to travel long distances to meet their relatives or friends, since many people, I wouldn't go need to travel. I'm not sure about that. Since many people nowadays you could just tend to. So many people tend to is quite nice rather than need to. Travel long distance to meet their relatives. Why don't you go relatives, friends? Let's broaden it out. Or business, colleagues. Let's get this a bit broader. Okay, and take that out. So many people nowadays who, let's get this into a relative clause, the structure's not quite right, who tend to travel, explain that. So these are the people who are travelling, who explain that. They find, so into a relative clause, into a nice complex sentence here, they find travelling the most cumbersome part of their meeting. You can't use we should say thanks to technology, it's just not academic. I'm trying to change this into a more academic style, you see. This is what the examiner is going to be looking for. You've scored 6.5 before, which is great, but the problem may be that you're not used to this academic style of writing, which has to be impersonal. So we can't say we. And as you see, I'm trying to avoid where you said we. I'm trying to keep this more neutral in a way. Maybe that's the best way for me to try and explain it. Comes in part of their meeting. So you could say, come into here. So you could say, the access to films, news reports, and the internet while traveling or while journeying can dramatically reduce the risk of boredom. Okay, so you should say we should say thanks. Yeah, okay, I don't feel happy with that. Because, as I said, it's not academic. So, but you could use this kind of structure. So I've turned it around, access to this while journeying. So I'm adding in a bit of a different grammar here. Can dramatically reduce the risk of boredom. For example, a person I would use here, could travel from Canada to India in a few hours via plane and enjoy watching a movie, listening to music or reading books during the journey. In addition to this, it's quite economical. Okay, good. So nice example. In addition to this, this sophisticated or innovative technology is usually available at relatively low cost. And then then come into this bit because. That's a really good point to make. It's accessible. You could say also, you could use the word it's accessible and low cost because scientists are working to improve it. To conclude, and that's not, again, not academic enough in that conclusion. I believe that thanks to new technology widely available, humanity is better connected and more easy to communication has become easier. So you need to just sum up your arguments there, and then maybe make a little prediction. It is certain that, or it is possible in the future, as this technology continues to develop, the world will become a smaller place, or we will become even more interconnected. Something like that. So your conclusion needs to be more academic. Have a look at the example. In the email I'm going to send you, you'll see an example of an essay that might just help you. And just another word on the template. I appreciate your comments, obviously I do. The thing is that what our students do is they use it to begin with. They use it for maybe 3 or 4 essays, or even 2 or 3 essays. And then they go, okay, fine, I'm going to take bits of this and I'm going to leave other bits behind. And that's what we want you to do. We're not saying you've got to do it, but we're saying use the bits that will help you because they're there for a reason. Okay, here we go. Dear Mr. John, I'm writing to express my sincere apology for not attending my maths exam held last week. My name is Sam. You need to give your full name here. And I am a student in grade 9. My roll number is 25 and the case number is this. Firstly, I am extremely apologetic. Now, you've had us to say apologize. I'm extremely... I'd probably best not to use apologetic, but I think you don't need to apologize again. You've apologized there. So I would go, firstly, let me explain the situation. Yeah? And reason for my absence. Okay? So I would maybe start with something like that. Okay? And then I would take that out because you've already said that in your first line. Actually, the day before the exam, I was suffering from a high fever. I'm good. I was suffering nice and continuous there. However, I took medicine and had bed rest for some time so that I could recover. You don't know, could recover from the fever for the next day. Okay, good. Unfortunately, I was still feeling weak and I was able to get ready for school the next morning. And so you need to explain why. My parents insisted me. We don't insist you. We said, insisted that maybe, or insisted that I take bed rest for some more time. Due to that, I was absent from my exam. I submitted the medical certificate in the admin department yesterday. Good. I'd request. Now, you can't request somebody. I think you need to ask this in a different way. So why don't you try this? I would be very grateful. Very grateful if you would allow me to retake my test on any day during this week so I could pass this exam. Hope you understand my situation. We don't say that. That's unusual English. I would say here, I look forward to hearing from you. Yeah, or maybe better, I hope you will consider my request. And then yours sincerely. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, good. All right, so well done on that letter. That's fine. There's a few little bits on the grammar and a few expressions that I think you need to take in there. But otherwise, good effort. Well done.